Hi there. Today I'm. Have you ever wondered, with all the information that's available, how can you store it in a place so that they become easily retrievable? So there are two problems that you have. One, that you need to retrieve the information, and second, you need to ensure that you are only having the information that is storing the information that is relevant to you. So now this is more relevant for people in software industry like me, where we have to sometimes look up the same Stack Overflow questions multiple times over different projects. It's because that we look up, we understand, but we are not able to recall it at the rate that we want to. So today I will talk about one of the frameworks that will help in doing that. It would avoid multiple lookup on the Stack Overflow. So this is a framework developed by Tiago Forte and was mentioned in the book called The Build a Second Brain, and it's called as Para framework. The Para stands for PARA, and each of them is an acronym which stands for P stands for projects, A stands for areas, R stands for resources, and A for the last A stands for archives. So what the whole system is, the concept of the whole system is that you arrange information in terms of urgency. The higher the information urgency in terms of implementing it or using it, or the it should go into either a P or in a A. So now I'll go into a bit deeper into what this PARA actually means. So we'll go first for with projects. So what does this project stand for? So what are the projects that you are looking at? So these are the projects that you have a certain goal or a certain end time or a deadline towards achieving it. So this can be like creating a birthday party, organizing a birthday party, or it can also be like organizing a vacation trip that oh, that you need a lot of planning for a lot of different activities. It can also have a product launch or even a training for a marathon. You have to there's a marathon going to happen and you want to train for it. That's a big project which you need to have certain goals and in terms of diet and in terms of how much you do every week. So those are the things that come into the projects. The next bit is like areas. The areas are the places where you have your roles and responsibility which you need to maintain over a period of time. For example, this could be like your finances. You need to keep on revisiting your finances every a month or maybe a quarter to ensure things are in order and things are not going over. The other aspect is your health. Like you need to ensure that you're eating right or doing the exercises, and it's hard to maintain every month. And you might have a few days, few months where you're off your plan or habits, and you might want to revisit and come back. So that's where the areas comes in. Next bit is the resources. The resources are all the tips and tricks that you find. For example, you have might have a hobby of like I have like playing tennis. So then I might have a list of videos that I want to watch, which would improve my game. Similarly, you might have hobbies, book reading. So you can have the list of books that you want to read. You can have recipes if you are into cooking and so on. And the last bit is the archive project. So whatever at the end of the day, whatever the projects that you work on, they get completed, then you kind of move them into archive. Now what that does is that you have that a whole set of information that you collected for a particular project. So for example, if you have done a project on organizing a party, the next time when you want to organize another birthday party, you have all the resources that you used in the archive and you can kind of reuse it, so that becomes much faster. And then you don't have to start from scratch. So that's one of the bigger benefits. The other benefit is like there are certain times in life when we are working on a particular project, and at a certain point we are no longer interested in doing it, but we still go on, or we might just leave it abandoned, and it just stays there in our mind or in our consciousness that we have to do that. But what this system does is it allows you to move that abandoned or not interested project into this archive folder. And what that does is it will give you the freedom to work on projects that you are interested in, and which means that you can increase your focus on the projects that you are more interested in. And having said that, a year or 2 year down the line, you suddenly get that interest of resuming that project. What you do is you just pull that project into archive into your current project and start working on that. So then this system is pretty dynamic, which would kind of help you in the information does not sit in the same place all the time. The information moves based on your urgency, and thus what are the relevant information will always be there in the project, which will allow you to focus only on the things that you need to do. So that's another benefit of this particular system. The last bit that this system helps with is on having the number of tools. This particular system has already has got free tools available. So, for example, you have Evernote, you have Notion, you have Obsidian, then you have Roam Research. All these tools support this kind of a framework where they may not do it out of the box, but you can easily implement those systems in these tools, and which means that and they are all mobile compatible, compatible and everything, so which means you can have the same your information at your fingertips all the time. So now, moving on, how do you use it for your software industry piece, right? So one of the things that way we do it in software is like we work on stories or features. So all your projects become your stories or features. It doesn't have to be a big project that the project team creates, but it's smaller features that you work on a day-to-day basis. It can also be a certification that you're trying to learn. So you want to do a certification, you set a goal that you want to achieve by a particular date, and that goes into project folder so that you focus on doing that project. The next is the areas. So now, from a work perspective, the areas would be, yeah, improving your different skills. For example, you might want to improve your project management skills, or you might want to improve your communication skills, or you might want to deep dive into certain technical skills. So you can kind of create those areas, and then visit those areas whenever you get time from your projects. So that becomes your continuous improvement cycle. The next is the resources. So this can be YouTube videos that you would want to watch at a later point of time. So the technology you want to explore at a later point, you want to store the resources there, and so on. The last bit is your archive. So yeah, whenever your features gets completed, you move them into archive. Now, what does is like, especially in corporate, where you want to kind of at the end of the year, you have this appraisal where you want to list out all the things you have done. This archive project folder becomes your source there of information there. So you can basically retrieve all the information needed for appraisal at a split second time, and then you can easily present it with all the details. And similarly, if a project has gone over, and after 6 months down the line, there are some queries on why we did this particular feature in this fashion. You have all that information in your archive project, so which means you have the answers to that, and that can be retrieved again very quickly. So that's all the benefits you have. Thank you. Bye.